This is a first look, first thought, gut reaction that you're going to get from me right here. Atlanta Falcons over under 8.5. My gut reaction, I like that team. I think Atlanta's going to be better. Buffalo over under 10.5. That looks low for the Bills. Their schedule is brutal, though. Bears over under 7.5 wins. That feels about right. Cleveland Browns over under 9 wins. They're getting a little bit of respect in the marketplace, perhaps more than I thought they would. The Denver Broncos over under 8.5 wins. I'm not convinced that Russell Wilson's problems will be solved with a new QB. Gut reaction there is under. Green Bay Packers over under 7.5 plus money on the over. Packers might be all right. Be interested to see if they're better with Jordan Love than they were with Aaron Rodgers. That's a possibility. Indianapolis Colts over under 6.5 wins. I think the Colts are going to stink. It's rebuilding time in Indy. I wouldn't play them over. KC over 11.5, juice to the over. They're going to be real good. The Chargers over 9.5, a little bit of juice to the over. LA expected to be comparable to where they were a year ago. Miami Dolphins getting some respect over under 9.5, minus 110 both ways. Not much respect for the New England Patriots at the start of the betting marketplace for NFL season wins. Patriots lined as a 7.5 win team over under for this year. The Giants expected to be 500. They're lined at 8.5. The Eagles over 10.5, minus 150 to the over. That might be 11. I had a lot of books. Everyone loved what Philly did in the draft. The San Francisco 49ers over under 11 wins this year. Tampa Bay over under 6. Markets are expecting the Bucs to be a bottom feeder. I don't necessarily disagree, but from a strength of schedule standpoint, man, that NFC South faces a very weak slate of opponents. The Washington Commanders over under 6.5 wins, juice to the over for Washington. Baltimore Ravens over under 9.5. They got Lamar Jackson. Carolina over under 7.5. Panthers are an interesting team. My gut reaction, I don't know. Let's see what the quarterback situation plays out there. That said, Carolina's got some pieces. Cincinnati, look at the respect for the Bengals. Over under 11.5 wins. They're right there with Kansas City as the best teams on paper in the NFL when it comes to season wins. Dallas, over under 9.5, juice to the over. Detroit, over under 9.5, juice to the over. The Lions, the favorites in the NFC North. The Houston Texans, well, they've got the lowest total out there. 5.5 wins for the Texans. You're not going to catch me betting the worst team in the NFL over the total. They're an under if I'm going to get involved. Jacksonville over under 9.5, building off last year's success. Not much expected from the Las Vegas Raiders. 7.5 wins. And big juice to the under for the Raiders at 7.5, minus 155 at the opener. Again, these are superbook.com numbers. There are many books that opened in the last 24 to 48 hours. I'm just reading one of them. The Rams over under 7.5, lots of juice to the under. The Vikings expect to be a 500 team this year, over under 8.5 wins. The Saints, look at this for the Saints, 9.5 wins for New Orleans, which at first glance looks very high until you look at their schedule and they don't play anybody. The Jets over under 9.5 wins, juice to the over, minus 145. Pittsburgh expected to be 500 again, over under 8.5 wins. The Seahawks also 500, lined in that range, over under 8.5 wins. And last but not least, the Tennessee Titans lined at 7.5 wins. My gut reaction with Tennessee is to look at them under the number. So they're the openers for the NFL season wins. Virgin numbers. We're going to start attacking them this week. NFL prep time starts in May. Now's the time to take advantage of numbers that probably aren't going to be there a month, 2 months, 3 months from now. Not sure yet when the NFL season win report is going to come out. That's 97 and 47 over the last 21 years, including a 15-4 mark with the 5% big ticket plays. I expect maybe June is my goal. We'll see if we get there. But I'd like to have these out earlier rather than later.